gentlemen, you're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
It is another lovely afternoon in Houston. The Killer Bees, they are cast in iron outside the ballpark. Jeff Bagwell, and of course his running mate for so many years, Craig Biggio. Hyundai presents the Sunday game of the week. It's the Yankees against the Astros in the fourth game of a four-game set from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. Hey everybody, Ryan Rucco alongside John Flaherty. Happy to be with you on this Sunday afternoon here on Yes. Three really competitive games thus far in this series. The Yankees taking the last two, and yesterday getting big hit after big hit, John.
Well, the Yankees got off to a great start yesterday, Ryan, and it all began with Brian McCann, who came up to the plate with the bases loaded. Great numbers with the bases loaded, and they just got better. Brian McCann having a very solid year. Chris Young, we've talked about what he has done this year, and more specifically here in Houston, a two-run jack. But the big swing late in the game, Mark Teixeira going the other way. That's going to drive in Brett Gardner and Chris Young. And then Chase Headley's going to come up to the plate and just give the Yankees a little bit of insurance. 9 runs yesterday for the offense and a very solid win for the ball club.
And even with being shut out on Thursday night, the Yankee offense has been terrific. Over the last 10 games, a .329 average, averaging 7 runs a game. The homers there, 23 of them, the extra base hits, and a pretty good batting average with runners in scoring position as well. Now, we talked a lot about 20-year-old shortstop Carlos Correa. Sort of waited for him to show off his talent. He did that yesterday. We saw it all in the 5th inning.
Well, we really did, Ryan, and we've heard so much about this young kid, and he showed us in the 5th inning. Not only can he hit, he can play some outstanding defense, showing some range right there. He's going to go to his left on the short hop and the strong throw. That's what really jumped out yesterday when you watch him play defense, is the strength of his arm. But offensively, he has been a solid player early on. 5th home run of the year going the other way. A young talent here in Houston. These fans have to be excited about him.
And his numbers jump off the page. Through just 19 games, already hitting .301, 5 homers, 15 ribbies, made his debut back on June 8th. Take a look at today's pitching matchup, brought to you by People's United Bank N.A. See what know-how can do for you. Michael Pineda gets the start for the Yankees, looking to bounce back from what might have been the worst start of his career. And Colin McHugh, 8-3, but an elevated ERA of 4.80 for the Astros. The Yankees' bullpen has been tremendous in this series. Chase and Shreve, Justin Wilson, Dylan Betances getting it done. The back end locking down back-to-back wins. Our Meredith Marakovitz details their success next on Yes.
4-game series between the Yankees and the Astros coming your way in just a few minutes. I'm Meredith Morakovitz coming to you from the Yankees dugout right here at Minute Maid Park. The Yankees have relied heavily on their bullpen so far this series, and they have been outstanding. They've combined to go 9 1/3 innings, not to mention they are pitching to an ERA under 1, and a lot of guys in that back end have swing and miss stuff, a lot of strikeouts over the past 3 days. Yesterday, they used a combination of Mitchell, Shreve, Wilson, and Betances. That combination worked out quite well.
They've been huge for us. I mean, you see how well this team swings the bat. They swung the bats really well early in the game, and our bullpen came in and shut the door, and that's what we needed.
They've done a really good job. You look at the last 2 games, they've shut down the opponent's offense, and Houston is very dangerous. We know that. They can score runs in bunches, but our bullpen has done a good job.
Joe Girardi's options out of the pen could be limited this afternoon. Shreve, Wilson, and Betances have all pitched 2 days in a row, so don't expect to see them. The Yankees did make a move, bringing up Esmiel Rogers to add an extra arm. Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network. Brian Rucco and John Flaherty coming your way next with lineups, first pitch, baseball, right here on Yes.
Part by Dodge. Come discover great deals during the Dodge Drive and Discover event. by Advanced Radiation Centers of New York. When it comes to fighting cancer, precision is everything. Call 8442-RADIATION-DOC. And by your Tri-State BMW Centers. Plenty of kids out for Sunday baseball. Sharing beverages and smiles here at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, getting ready for the final game of this 4-game set between the Yankees and the Astros. We'll take a look at today's Yankees starting lineup, presented by Lexus. Brett Gardner, red hot, hitting .500 over his last 10 games, leading off. Chase Headley back in the 2 spot. Alex Rodriguez is the DH batting 3rd. Mark Teixeira, the big 2-run double yesterday to give the Yankees an 8th inning lead, bats cleanup. Brian McCann will hit 5th. Garrett Jones gets to start in left field today, batting 6th. Chris Young will play right field and bats 7th. Didi Gregorius, the shortstop, bats 8th. And Stephen Drew rounds out the Yankees starting lineup.
Well, manager Joe Girardi sending that lineup out there against right-hander Colin McHugh. Finishing up his warm-up pitches, we'll take a look at his numbers on the year. 8-3, the ERA a little bit inflated at 4.80. We'll check out our pitcher's scouting report, brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. And a career turnaround since he was picked up on waivers here in Houston. 19-12 as an Astro with a 3.52 ERA. He was 0-8 with an ERA over 8 with the Mets and the Rockies. And he's had quite a run of 4 months here with Houston. 15 wins. That is tied with Garrett Cole for most of the majors, and that's one more than Max Scherzer, who's on quite a run himself lately. He gets plenty of run support, 5.7 runs per game, 7th highest in the big leagues.
So Brett Gardner steps in. The Yankees look to take 3 out of 4 here in Houston. 3 really fun, interesting, competitive games with good crowds at Minute Maid Park through the first 3 contests. And the Yankees will head to Anaheim for 3 games beginning tomorrow night after this contest here in Houston. McHugh delivers ball 1 to Brett Gardner. Gardner remains scorching hot. 21 for 42 over his last 9 games. 10 extra base hits, 10 RBIs over that span. He has raised his batting average from the beginning of the Yankees' 8-game homestand before coming here from 262 up to an even 300 now.
Nice round number, 300.
He sees 3 straight balls to begin it against McHugh.
Looking at the numbers for McHugh, throws his slider 37% of the time, and that's more than his fastball percentage, which is incredible. If you think of a starting pitcher, usually the fastball percentage is about 50 to 65% in that range.
Take a look at the defense behind McHugh, presented by Geico. Preston Tucker, George Springer, Domingo Santana, the outfield, Valbuena, Correa, Altuve, and Carter, the infield, with Jason Castro catching McHugh. But you're right, John, that is such an oddity to have a pitcher who throws his fastball so infrequently.
His fastball, slider, curveball, and a change. When I saw those numbers, I had to go talk to Steve Sparks, who does the radio for the Houston Astros, and he said he's actually throwing his fastball a little bit more lately, and he's turned things around. He's had really coming off a good start his last time out. 8 innings against the Angels.
The 0-1 to Headley. Big swing and a miss. Well, it's interesting because McHugh, when he had those struggles you mentioned with the Rockies and the Mets, where he was 0-8 with the ERA just under 9 in his first 2 years in the big leagues, he was using his fastball a lot. And then the Astros picked him up because the spin rate on his curveball was so high. And they said you need to throw less fastballs, more off speed. And as a result, last year he threw to a 2.73 ERA. But it sounds like he's going back to the fastball a little bit more lately.
It sounds like he maybe fell in love with the breaking ball a little bit and got away from the fastball. And every pitcher will tell you everything begins with the fastball.
Breaking ball, cut on and missed. And Headley is retired.
You know what, Ryan, you talk about spin rate, and that's what the Astros saw. Well, I look at that and say that's a nasty hammer right there. I mean, that's 12 to 6 straight down. and all the sabermetrics and numbers and spin rate and is what these front offices look for. But right there, that's a big league curveball.
Strong reaction for Alex Rodriguez. Yesterday, A-Rod 0 for 3, did walk twice. Check on Gardner. Now, yesterday we saw Brett Oberholzer throw at Alex Rodriguez after the 2-run homer by Chris Young in the second inning. Oberholzer was ejected, and then he was sent down to Triple-A after the game by A.J. Hinch and the Astros.
I don't know about you, but my respect level has risen for not only the Houston Astros organization, but manager A.J. Hinch, saying that's not the way we do things here. And we're talking about a very good left-handed pitcher. I mean, this isn't a guy whose ERA was inflated. Boy, does that send a message not only to your club, but the rest of Major League Baseball.
Strike one. No, A.J. Hinch actually apologized to Joe Girardi and Alex Rodriguez for what Oberholzer did. And just told them, hey, that's not how we play. That's not how we do things. Sorry that young man did that.
And you know what? You can apologize and you know, players, managers, whoever. Good hook. That's a hammer right there. But, I mean, you might actually say, okay, I got an apology, but it was eyewash, and another look at that curveball over buckle from Alex Rodriguez. But when you actually send down one of your players, the player that did it, who's having a solid year, I mean, that really just goes to another level.
Here's the 0-2. Another hook, that one in the dirt. Now, this was the incident yesterday. Right after the Chris Young homer.
I laugh at his reaction as Sabathia coming out of the dugout, obviously not happy. But he didn't even argue with the home plate umpire. He just put his head down and he walked out. And basically it was, you know what, I'm not having a good afternoon. I want no part of this game. And he got himself thrown out. And as a result, the Houston Astros had to go to their bullpen early. And he has a nice ride to AAA right now.
Yeah. Joe Girardi was talking about it before the game and said, look, the young man lost his head for a moment, clearly. You don't like to see those things happen. But obviously, it was in a fit of anger. The Astros dealt with it. Count evens on Rodriguez. Teixeira on deck. The 2-2. Grounded. Could be two, but no one's there to cover second. So they'll settle for one as Rodriguez is retired. And the shift had Altuve and Correa both going for that ground ball.
And when you see something like this, and great shot at the shift from overhead. And how about you're a starting pitcher and you think you get yourself a nice 6-4-3 double play and nobody's there at second base. And it's just another one of those situations where extra out. Mark Teixeira is now up at the plate. Runner in scoring position. See if it comes back to bite him.
Teixeira had a huge hit yesterday, a 2-run double with 2 outs in the 8th to put the Yankees on top and break a 6-6 tie. Shot it the other way. Off the wall around the 362 sign in left. The 0-1 inside.
This will be an interesting matchup right here. Mark Teixeira, with his time with the Yankees, I've noticed has trouble with those big curveballs, and luckily for him, you don't see many in the major leagues. It's more fastball slider. And Q really has one of those old-time 12-6 breaking balls.
Teixeira fights off that pitch. 1-2. Take a look at the Honda League leaders in RBIs. And look who is tied atop it. Mark Teixeira with 53, tied with Miguel Cabrera and Stephen Vogt.
It's at the bottom of that list. Brian McCann now with 49 RBIs. Coming into spring training, everybody said, well, Brian McCann has to have a rebound year and Mark Teixeira has to stay healthy. Both of those things have happened.
Swing and a miss. High fastball blown by Teixeira. And after the leadoff walk, McHugh gets out of trouble. It's Michael Pineda's turn next. '17 streak and was wreaking havoc yesterday. Carlos Correa, the shortstop, at second. Jose Altuve has been a pest all series. He'll hit third. Evan Gattis, the RBI machine, will bat cleanup today. He flip-flops with Luis Valbuena, who now hits in the 5 spot. Chris Carter, the first baseman, a homer and a double yesterday, will hit 6th. Preston Tucker gets the start in left, batting 7th. Domingo Santana in there again in right. And Jason Castro, the catcher, bats 9th.
Well, manager A.J. Hinch sending that lineup out against Michael Pineda, trying to get back on track after a rough outing his last time. We'll look at his numbers on the year. His 15th start, 8-4. Now the ERA is over 4 at 4.25. Look at our pitchers scouting report, brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. And this will be his last start in June, and he will be very happy about that. His ERA over 7 during the month of June, and he's given up a lot more home runs lately, 6 in his last 6 starts. And the formula is pretty simple. If he gets strike 1, hitters hit 203 against him. If he falls behind, they hit 353.
Drastic difference as Pineda gets ahead.
There you go. Good start.
Grounded hard and through past the diving Headley, and George Springer has set the table. Take a look at the Yankees defense. It's presented by Geico. In the outfield, Garrett Jones gets the start at left with Gardner and Young shifting over to right. In the infield, Headley, Gregorius, Drew, and Teixeira, and Brian McCann behind the plate with Michael Pineda on the hill.
Ryan, I mentioned that tough start last time out against the Phillies. 11 hits, 8 earned runs. And really, the one pitch that he did not have in that game was a slider. I mean, it was just a cement mixer all day. And the first one he threw to Springer was not much better, so that's something that's going to have to improve as the afternoon goes on.
And Joe Girardi was asked priority number 1 for Pineda bouncing back. That's what he brought up. Having that good slider. And Pineda throws it the 4th highest percentage of his pitches in the American League, 32.4% of the time. Colin McHugh is actually 2nd on that list. Only Chris Archer ahead of McHugh. As Correa falls behind 0-2.
You know, every big league manager will tell you, we need length out of our starting pitcher. And of course, that's a lot easier said than done. But today, especially for the Yankees, their bullpen is depleted. They really need a rebound start for his confidence, but also he needs to go about 7 innings and try to save some of that bullpen if he can.
Justin Wilson, Dellin Betances, Jason Shreve, all used the last 2 days. So Joe Girardi almost certainly will stay away from all of them today. Said he would talk to them, but he wasn't planning to use any of them as they take in the action. Brian Mitchell, who pitched yesterday, isn't ready to go back-to-back days either. Look out. Somebody on that top step for the Astros got nailed. Maybe Maresnik, who's on the DL, may have a longer stint now.
I'll tell you what, you can laugh about it if nobody got hurt, but how about Robinson Cano? Was in the dugout.
Yes.
I think it was the Angels who were warming up, and an errant throw hit him in the head.
Could be two. Gregorius, all himself, tumbles afterwards, and he is down. But back up with 2 thumbs.
Well, your first thought when he went down and he was kind of wiggling around on the dirt, you thought maybe he got hurt. Good news for the Yankees, the double play, obviously. Ooh, that left leg. Springer went in with a hard, aggressive slide, and this is where you started thinking maybe he'd be in trouble. He comes up with a smile on his face, 2 thumbs up, all good.
His defense has really improved over the last month or so, John.
Is it a coincidence he's swinging the bat better as well, and this whole game is coming together?
Strike 1 to Altuve.
Now, Ryan, I have to compliment you today. For the last game of this series, you have stepped up your suit game big time.
You think so?
I think you went with your best combo today of the 4 games.
Sunday game, you know. Figured it was appropriate.
I mean, what do we got going on here? We have the what is that, a checkered suit?
Yeah.
Dots on the shirt.
We do.
We have the pocket square that I don't know how that matches with anything else.
Well, there's orange in the tie. The pocket square goes with the orange in the tie, no?
I told somebody up here, it reminded me of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Dick Van Dyke was wearing the old school suits back in the day, and the top hat. I mean, you've got it all going on today.
I'm not sure that Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is the comparison I was shooting for.
What were you going for?
I was just going for Sunday style, that's all. And now I get to take off the jacket, just have the vest on.
I'm impressed. The solid color with the vest.
And you can see the jacket behind us there.
And the pocket square. Look at how it pops.
Yeah, it does.
That's called old school on one side and young age new school on the other.
I'm just glad that you noticed, John. Inning over, Pineda with a smooth first. Gregorius with a good-looking double play. By Toyota. Toyota is the official hybrid vehicle of the Yankees. Which player injured in the last 2 days will impact their team most and why? Cano, Stanton, McCutchen, or Lincecum? Now, Robinson Cano is in the lineup today. We'll take a look at your responses. At CJ North 96 says, I want to say Stanton, but I got to go with McCutchen because Pittsburgh is still in contention. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using the hashtag Yankees Camry Hybrid to keep the conversation going. I'd say that's good logic from CJ North because Pittsburgh is in a race and Miami, of course, they'll miss Stanton, but what are they even with Stanton?
Yeah, McCutchen hit by a pitch on the left elbow. X-rays were negative, and he is in the lineup again, so good news for the Pittsburgh Pirates and their fans.
Pirates have had a very good year. It's just St. Louis has been incredible. Bounces up there. Brian McCann, a grand slam yesterday in the first inning to get the Yankees scoring started. 11th grand slam of his career, and the 10th he's had as a catcher. The only other players with at least 10 grand slams as a catcher: Mike Piazza, Gary Carter, and Johnny Bench.
Not bad company.
Pretty solid. You know, in the bounce-back seasons of A-Rod and Teixeira, McCann's production has almost been lost at just how good he's been, John. Let's hit hard for right at Carter. Take a look at today's Cold Hard Facts, brought to you by Clean, Crisp Coors Light, and there it is. Really quality company that Brian McCann has joined.
And you're right, the 49 RBIs have snuck up on me. You know, he's kind of got off to a slow start and has been very consistent lately, hitting the ball hard. And he hit the ball hard right there, nothing to show for it. And taking his home run game on the road, right? A lot of the times all those home runs have been at home.
Yeah. Well, yesterday was the launch, too. Really, all the home runs we saw yesterday were cracked. Garrett Jones flips that foul left side. Valbuena will run out. There you go. You get to keep it. Now, Josh Donaldson probably would have dove 3 rows deep to catch that ball.
He made that play. That was basically saying, I don't care what's going to happen to myself. I'm going to make this play.
Yeah. Another try for Carter. Another 3 unassisted. Take a look at today's weather, brought to you by Bigelow Tea. 82 degrees, a little bit cooler today. Not much wind, 81% humidity. And inside, John?
72 and sunny, always. So you made a good call going with the vest today because it is a little cooler, 82 degrees.
See, I knew what I was doing. That's what I do, John. You know, I look at the forecast ahead of time, plan the fashion appropriately. You're going to have nice weather in Anaheim.
That's going to be beautiful. He's trying to get out of here with a win, take 3 out of 4, get out to Anaheim. Series against the Angels, and Chris Young hoping he stays hot.
Chris Young, 10-game hitting streak, and during that stretch hitting .459 in this series against the Astros. He's 6 for 11 with 2 homers and 5 ribbies. He was in an avid debate today with Chase Headley about their favorite pizza spots. As he was talking about place to eat in Houston. I think Papa John's won out, actually. Inning over, 3 ground balls for McHugh. On to the bottom of the second. as Alex Morgan and Team USA take on Germany with a trip to the final on the line. Coverage begins Tuesday at 6 p.m. only on your local Fox station, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. USA and Germany, whenever they have met in the World Cup, the winner has gone on to win the World Cup. Huge match between the #1 and #2 team in the world. In Germany, the #1 team. Michael Pineda with an 11-pitch first inning. First pitch strikes to all 3 batters he faced. And that's a first pitch ball. Evan Gattis done damage, had impressive at-bats in this series. Chopped and snared. Teixeira will grab it. Used Joe West for a little help and got the out.
Joe West in a good mood today. You can smile about it now. You're right, Ryan. Mark Teixeira showing some range and using Joe West to push himself back into the field to play.
Played bumper pool with Joe West. Joe getting a chuckle out of that.
It's good to see Joe's in a good mood today.
Yeah, it is.
Sometimes he could be a little stubborn. Day game after an afternoon start yesterday.
Joe was behind the plate for Dallas Keuchel's shutout, the first game of this series. Valbuena takes down.
Ryan, you mentioned Gattis and his at-bats, and we've been impressed with him this whole series, but I've been impressed with this ball club, you know, and everybody's talking about how long can the Astros keep doing what they're doing, but they showed me some fight yesterday coming back from 6-0 early to tie it up. A.J. Hinch's club did not win that ball game, but they showed a lot of fight getting back in it.
They have a 4-game lead on the Angels and the Rangers in the AL West. These have been 3 well-played, tight, competitive, exciting games. Felt like big baseball games.
And A.J. Hinch talking before this series began. And everybody kind of looked at this Yankee series and said, okay, this is when the Astros are going to come back to reality. And they're fighting for a split today. But I think if you look at this club as a whole, the lineup has power, has speed. There's some veteran presences in the middle of the lineup.
Headley all alone over there. 2 outs.
Solid bullpen. The Yankees were able to beat up on it a little bit yesterday, and you see the numbers 43 and 34. And you feel good about the rotation, so there's no reason that they cannot continue to do what they have done all year long.
They have some more potential young help on the way in a stacked minor league system. Should the Astros choose to call up, say, a pitcher like Mark Appel at some point? It just called John Singleton back up, who has torn up AAA. We'll see if it can translate to the bigs. Jeff Luhnow has done a very good job of constructing this Astros team. Came over from St. Louis. Dealt with the corporate espionage story. Has really put together a fine ball club in Houston that could be a very good team in the American League for a long time.
See Pineda quickly getting ahead, now 1-2, but he just threw the best slider that he's probably thrown early in this game to Chris Carter. A swing and a miss. That's what Joe Girardi was talking about, looking at some depth in the slider as opposed to it just spinning a little bit. Good one there.
And got him. Michael Pineda has faced the minimum through 2. And a good looking slider to get Carter. the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment and at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at Bat for your smartphone or tablet today. Now, is it enough of a rivalry? Well, she dances well, so he might stay with her.
Yeah, I don't think the Astro-Yankee rivalry is one of the best in baseball.
Maybe it'll develop as one over the next couple of years. You know what's interesting about that, though, John? Joe Girardi, before the first game of this series, was talking about coming to this ballpark. And he said he was looking up at the scoreboard wondering why there wasn't an interleague branding of the series, because you forget, after so many years coming here, or coming to Houston if you're going to play him, at being interleague play, said it's almost still not sunken in that they are a team now who's in the American League.
I totally agree. And Didi Gregorius having a rough start to this game. Foul ball off of his right or left leg?
Left knee, it looked like.
Wow. That's hard to do. Getting back to the double play, getting clipped at second base.
Because of that double play, Michael Pineda has faced a minimum through the first 2 innings. The Audi A3 scoreboard, no score here in the top of the third. Raking ball swung on and missed. Boy, McHugh is a good one today.
You like his combination with the high fastball, and then he goes with the hammer. Nice little finish off the mound right there. A little stutter step.
Yeah. Well, McHugh does come from a musical family. Perhaps they also know choreography.
He comes from a musical family?
He does. His older brother and sister are songwriters in Nashville. McHugh jokes that he's the dumb jock in the family.
He's the dumb jock with a big 12-6 hammer, so he's doing just fine.
Carry that around with confidence. He has some musical talents too, John, in case you were worried. Played the clarinet, the saxophone growing up.
Learned a lot in these 4 games with you, Ryan. It's not disappointing here.
As someone bereft of musical talent, I am fascinated by anyone who has it. The 3-0. Right down the center of the plate for a strike.
Well, McHugh has had his problems first time through the lineup with a bunch of clubs this year. Teams hitting .331 against him, but the Yankees not able to get much going here the first time through.
Drew draws a walk. So a walk to the first batter that he faced in Gardner, and retired 7 in a row before a walk to Drew. The number you just mentioned, John, the .331 average, that is the 3rd highest opponent's average for a first pass through the order in baseball. Only Scott Feldman and Jeff Samardzija have yielded a higher batting average, but McHugh has not given up a hit yet. In fact, McHugh hasn't given up a ball out of the infield yet. But a 1-out walk by Drew, and here's Gardner, red hot. Strike 1. One and one.
Stephen Drew, not much of a threat to run at first base. You wonder if the Yankees might want to think about hit and running a little bit. just think about it from a catcher's perspective. With Castro behind the plate, if you get that big, slow curveball, not an easy pitch to wait and deliver a good throw to second base. He throws a lot at you. They're a little cutter at 87. The fastball about 90. You can elevate it. And we've already talked about that 12-6 curveball. Covers a lot of different speeds. You can see how he can be effective.
Gardner fights that off. If you're as hot as Brett Gardner is, you stepping into the box excited or worried that it's going to end?
You're stepping into the box, and in your mind you're saying, I hope I see the ball like I saw it yesterday. You know, you just want everything to feel the same.
Drew, good read, and takes second. As soon as he saw that trickle away even slightly, he was off.
Good secondary lead. Castro's going to be disappointed with himself right there. When you call the curveball as a catcher, you have to expect it's going to be down in the dirt and to that side of the plate. Really, you would think this would be a pitch, be relatively easy to block.
So a runner in scoring position for Gardner, who will drive him home. Drew rounding third. He will score. Brett Gardner stays scorching hot, and the Yankees take a 1-0 lead.
Well, I guess everything is the same as Castro not able to block that ball in the dirt. Runner in scoring position. Brett Gardner makes the Astros pay. But I was thinking about Brett today. Took the second bus over. He was on it. No batting practice for the Yankees. And I was thinking to myself, I wonder if he's disappointed about that as well as he has been swinging the bat. No problem early on. Walked his first at bat. Now base hit and RBI.
Gardner with 11 ribbies over his last 10 games now and hitting over 500 during that span with 22 hits in 43 at bats. And he has done it at the top of the order when the Yankees have really needed it with Jacoby Ellsbury down. Ellsbury seems like he's getting closer to returning. He's going to run today before the game, and if everything went well, he was going to be sent for a rehab assignment that could start perhaps as early as tomorrow.
Yeah, I haven't heard how that went, but I was up here looking down. He looked like he was running pretty well to me. And we saw him take batting practice during the series.
Popped up, shallow right. It'll be Altuve very casually over. Take a look at today's injury report brought to you by Montefiore Medical Center. Inspired Medicine. And Jacoby Ellsbury chatting with Joe Girardi about his outfield running. And if that was a positive conversation, he very well may be sent for a rehab assignment beginning tomorrow. Joe Girardi said you don't want to have him travel all the way to Anaheim then send him back if he's almost ready for that rehab assignment.
Yeah, and then you wonder, you ask yourself, how long is that rehab assignment going to be? And it's probably up to Jacoby and how he reacts and how he feels at the plate. You know, how many at-bats do you think you're going to need? Could be a couple of games, might be a little extended. Really good breaking ball. And Alex Rodriguez, who all year long has looked so solid in the batter's box, is flinching a little bit on that breaking ball.
Gardner leads off first. Strike two.
You see 86, and it's right by Alex Rodriguez. You see the curveball, it slows you down a little bit as a hitter. And a fastball that doesn't have to be in the mid-90s is able to be thrown by you. This might be one of those situations, Ryan. Alex Rodriguez spreads out a little bit, uses his hands like he told you he did the other night against Keuchel.
Eliminate the stride, perhaps. In the dirt.
Where you'd like to see Brett Gardner try to steal a base right here. Alex Rodriguez behind in the count, 1-2. Doesn't look like he's picking up the breaking ball very well off of McHugh. If you get thrown out, Alex comes up next inning leading off with a fresh count.
2-2. Huge hole on the right side. 3 infielders on the left side again for Rodriguez. 2-2. Popped up. Shallow right. That's a long run for everybody, and it's Altuve who will bobble, grab, and flip to a finish. Terrific play by Jose Altuve. And he stayed very calm on the initial bobble. Not the first time, but the second time for Sean. Invite you to make a connection to the road in the new Sonata. Visit your Hyundai dealer today. By People's United Bank NA, putting the power of know-how to work for you. And by Chrysler, come discover great deals during the Chrysler Drive and Discover event. Heck of a play by Jose Altuve, covering all kinds of ground. Take another look at Yes Mo, brought to you by your Tri-State Mercedes-Benz dealers.
Well, with the shift, he had a long way to run, and you wonder why Santana didn't make that play. It seemed like it would be a tougher play for Altuve, but able to come up with it, and come up with it with some style points, too, making it look easy.
Really did. Take a look at how far Altuve had to go because of the shift.
Well, you see where he sets up originally on the shortstop side of second base, now covering a lot of ground. Santana must have gotten a terrible jump out there in right field. Altuve able to pick him up.
Pineda looks good early.
The changeup right there. We haven't seen the changeup a whole lot.
The Audi A3 scoreboard. Yankees leading 1-0 after Brett Gardner's RBI single. He has a good fastball today, John.
Yeah, I was just thinking this is a big start for him and I think for the entire organization, because I mentioned the ERA over 7 for the month of June, and he was so good early on, and it makes you start thinking the innings starting to add up for a guy who's been hurt an awful lot. You know, is that the problem? And he looks great early on in this one.
Another good fastball, 94 miles an hour, and the second straight strikeout for Michael Pineda.
Because when you think about it, you pretty much have two #1 guys in your rotation, Tanaka and Pineda, but they haven't been pitching that way lately, so you start questioning a little bit. And so far, so good in this one for Michael Pineda.
And the innings are sort of interesting for Pineda because he did throw 171 innings back in 2011, his rookie year. But then, because of injuries, he didn't pitch at all in the bigs in 2012 or 2013. And last year, he was limited to 76 innings.
And he has, what, over 80 this year?
84 2/3 entering this game.
Obviously, it doesn't sound like a high number, 84 innings, but when you haven't had the workload in the last couple of years, you have to pay attention to it.
Excellent slider.
Well, the hitter will tell you everything you need to know with the type of swing that he is taking off of the slider. Not a very good one from Santana.
You know, in regard to the innings, you hear some people saying, well, he's tired. That's why he's getting hit hard. He's given up 5 runs or more 4 of his last 7 starts. But he'd have a couple of really good starts mixed in there, too. It's not like there was a wall he hit. He was bouncing back then with quality outings. And good night to Santana.
3 strikeouts in a row now for Pineda. Well, you're right. You think 2 starts ago against Miami, he goes 6 2/3, only 1 earned run, struck out 9 in that game. And you're saying, okay, he's back on track. And then the last outing, only 3 1/3, 8 earned runs, did not strike out a batter. Clearly did not have his good stuff, but early on looks good here.
Here's the number 9 hitter, Jason Castro. Easy for Gregorius. And Pineda has faced the minimum through 3. Marquee matchup with reigning MVP Mike Trout, red-hot Albert Pujols, and the Angels. Complete coverage begins at 9:30 with the Tri-State Ford pregame. Then Ken Singleton and John Flaherty have the call from the Big A only on Yes. Albert Pujols is healthy and stroking. Should be another fun series.
That'll be fun. A lot of storylines out there. Pujols is back and productive. Let's see Mike Trout.
The Lincoln scoreboard. The Yankees a 1-0 lead. Brett Gardner's RBI single in the third. Teixeira broke his bat. Solid break. I was talking to Mark Teixeira before the game for a while about this ballpark offensively. And noticing him in BP this series shooting more balls to left field, like the go-ahead double he had in yesterday's game. And he said that is by design, and it's something he can't really do at Yankee Stadium because it's so cavernous out there. If he hits fly balls to left center, usually they're going to be caught. But much like Fenway Park, you hit fly balls to left field, left center here, there are real opportunities, home runs, doubles, and the speed of outfielders today specifically is sort of negated by the configuration of this park.
So you're telling me that Mark is telling you that he can force a ball the other way when he wants to?
Well, that I don't know. As Teixeira goes down looking. Now, he did also mention the pitch he doubled on yesterday was a tailing down and away pitch, so he'd go that way anyway.
Yeah, out over the plate. There's a look at the swing going the other way, and it finds that little section out there where it's 362 feet. But I only bring that up because there are so many situations that they shift against Mark with runners on base in scoring position. Then you start thinking all you have to do is force a ball on the ground the other way, and it's an RBI base hit.
Right.
And Mark has mentioned that he's not going to change his swing. He's a power hitter. He's going to try to hit home runs. But that conversation makes me think that he could do it if he chose to. Let's put it that way.
My guess would be the discrepancy would be ground balls versus fly balls.
Exactly.
Yeah. Being able to still drive the ball that way rather than put it on the ground. And he was interesting talking about it because he said, look, that's one of the big differences in today's Major League Baseball. You know, 15 years ago when offense was more prevalent, you had some hulking outfielders who couldn't really move because they're going to hit 45 home runs, and you would deal with that. Long run for Tucker, but he'll get there. 2 down. So if you look at today, because the offense isn't the same, almost every team puts out essentially multiple center fielders. So there's just not as much space for your fly balls to land as there used to be. When you think about it, John, I mean, there are times when Jacoby Ellsbury's healthy, when Chris Young's playing, where the Yankees have 3 center fielders in the outfield.
Covering a lot of ground, and Mark mentioning left center field at Yankee Stadium. Spacious.
Jones loops it. Valbuena grabs it. Yankees retired 1-2-3 onto the bottom of the 4th. Cubs' postseason heroics on an all-new Yankeeography Moments of Glory, featuring interviews and eyewitness accounts from his teammates and coaches. That's Wednesday, July 8th at 11, only on Yes. Looking forward to seeing that.
It was good to see Bernie at Old Timers Day. Made kind of a late appearance, played in the game, snuck out of there quickly. Kind of the same thing he did when he was playing.
Not much has changed. Michael Pineda has faced the minimum. On the Lincoln scoreboard, the Yankees a 1-0 lead. Since George Springer's single, he's retired 8 in a row. And Springer was eliminated thanks to a double play, banked into by Carlos Correa, who's on deck. Pineda with first pitch strikes to 7 of the 10 batters he's faced.
He looks free and easy right now. You can see he's getting a little bit more aggressive with his fastball. You mentioned the slider, Ryan, has been on point.
Strike 3. Now, before the game, I had a chance to ask Joe Girardi what he's thought of Astros shortstop Carlos Correa thus far in this series.
He's a great looking player. When you watch him play the game, it doesn't seem to be anything that he can't do. He hits for average. He's hit for power. He's shown power the other way. His defense has been outstanding. His arm is very strong. He runs the bases. Sometimes you look at kids that are 20 years old and you say they're not supposed to be this good this early. But obviously he's a very good player.
And that 5th inning yesterday was just a total highlight reel.
Well, the defensive plays were outstanding, but how many young kids, and not even young kids, how many major league players can you say hit the ball the other way with the kind of power that he did yesterday? And right off the bat, you knew it was gone. And that's the separator. You know, when you talk about 5 tools and power, there are players who have power, but it's pull power. This is a kid who can hit the ball out all over the park.
And with all that talent, when you talk to people around the Astros about him, the first thing they'll mention is his maturity and his attitude, and how that has fueled a real sense of leadership, even though he's 20 years old. Nice pitch there from Pineda. You take a look at some impressive rookies in the big leagues this year. There's your guy, John, Chris Bryant. Jock Peterson with 19 homers for LA.
Now wait a second. Now I have some issues here, Ryan, with our graphics department, because they put together a graphic with young players under 25. Bryant couldn't make that list, but he makes this one.
Well, this is just rookies. Arenado's not a rookie, so he doesn't make it.
There's the technicality, all right.
Yeah. Well, that was something else that we talked about with Joe Girardi before the game, just the state of the league right now and the young talent in it. And I thought Joe brought up a great point. He said, these young players, we're not just getting a look at, they're being asked to do very important things for some contending teams.
But it's really amazing to me how this game has changed.
Correa flicks that into center, and the 2 outfielders converge, Jones and Gardner, and it drops, and it rolls all the way to the wall. Correa is coming around, and Carlos Correa will score. A total breakdown from Gardner and Jones, and it cost the Yankees a run.
They're talking about it right now, but this just cannot happen. And Garrett Jones, we know his strength is swinging the bat. But this is a play that Brett Gardner has to make. He's a center fielder. He has to take priority. Garrett Jones just has to get out of his way. And you can see a little confusion right there, and they both pull up at the last second. I mean, Brett Gardner is camped under that ball right there, and the center fielder has priority, and obviously a good defensive player Brett is. Pineda makes the pitch, should be a routine out. And it's not.
They call it a double and an E8.
that scores Correa. And Pineda, who was just mowing the Astros down, instead watches the 1-0 lead go away.
See, he was way out front. He thinks it's a routine out. He slows down, and then he kicks it into another gear. And then Brett Gardner has all sorts of trouble trying to come up with it. Gary Pettis, we've already talked about it, aggressive scoring runners.
And now Altuve singles. And he is a pest on the bases.
We talked about it in yesterday's game, Ryan, the feeling of momentum during big league ball games. The crowd now is interested. It's the rest of the play with Brett Gardner. Goes after the ball, should have been a double, slips, kicks it to the wall. Gary Pettis, the third base coach, has no problem waving runners home here in Houston. Very aggressive third base coach, and it pays off.
Michael Pineda is on his way to having retired 10 straight batters, every hitter after George Springer's leadoff single in the first. And instead, Correa scores. It's 1-1, and now Altuve's off to second. Good throw down, and he is out. What a BB from Brian McCann.
If you're Brian McCann and you ever go through any struggles behind the plate throwing the baseball, you need to look at this highlight throw that he makes right here. This is as good as it gets for any catcher. Gets rid of it in great shape, right on the money. Good tag by Drew. You look at the transfer, everything is right on point. Perfect throw. Slider, you wait back for it a little bit and then get rid of it. Can't do it any better than that.
And you know what, John? If he didn't do it exactly like that, Altuve's in there.
And it's not like he had another catcher running. That's Altuve, who leads the league in stolen bases, had a good jump. Every player, whether it's hitting or defense, you're always looking at highlight videos when you're going well. That's as good as it gets for Brian McCann right there.
Just missed off and maybe a little bit up. So that allows things to settle down a little bit too for Michael Pineda. And after the botched fly ball in center, scored Correa.
Ryan, I was talking about how the game has changed a little while ago, and it's changed because young players come up now expecting to be good right away. You know, when I was coming up in the early 90s, it was, you know what, rookie, just wait your time. You know, you'll get opportunities later on. Now these kids come up, they get the opportunities, but they're also expecting to go out there and dominate. There's no little transition phase. They come right up and they know they're good. They expect to play well. As Jojo already said, a lot is asked of them.
1-2. A lot of life on that fastball today.
Yeah, Brian McCann telling Pineda to get the fastball up in the zone. High target. Sets up an off-speed pitch down and away. Pitchers talk about changing eye levels all the time.
In the air to right. Young on the move. Tracks it down to end the inning. Michael Pineda rolling, but his defense lets him down here in the fourth. It looks like an easy fly out, but Jones and Gardner miscommunicate. Pineda reacts. Correa scores, and it's a 1-1 game. half game back of the Rays in the AL East. John, you talked about it yesterday. It's incredible how tight it is between the Rays, Yankees, Orioles, and Blue Jays.
Well, you know, the trade deadline is always a big time of the year for contending clubs, but I think in the American League East, the trade deadline could be the difference. You know, who goes out there and makes a big acquisition and fortifies their ball club.
The Bigelow T scoreboard, a 1-1 game. Brett Gardner coming into the dugout after that play in the fourth, and he apologizes to Michael Pineda. What should have been the 10th consecutive hitter retired by Pineda instead turned into a run for the Astros on Correa's fly ball.
Yeah, and you're just in that dugout if you're Brett Gardner and Garrett Jones, hoping that that play won't be the difference in this ball game. Garrett doesn't play a lot of outfield. He doesn't play left field very often, but that's clearly a ball that the center fielder should have taken priority, been a little bit more aggressive, calling off Garrett Jones.
And Jones was way over, which, watching these 4 games, we've seen that a little bit from left fielders here, because a lot of times they start, it seems like, John, a little bit more pinched towards the gap because of that jut out with the left field wall. Now right now Tucker's playing pretty much a straight up left field, but a lot of times we'll see them slid over a bit. Swing and a miss. Good hook from McHugh. Colin McHugh has allowed just 1 hit. The RBI single by Gardner. He has been outstanding.
Well, it's been the combination of the cutter and this curveball. Chris Young has been so hot lately, it's unusual to see a swing like that from him, but that just tells you how effective the curveball has been this afternoon.
Here's Gregorius. Another good hook. Gregorius struck out his first at bat. 5 strikeouts for McHugh. He's 1 strike away from a 6th.
Watch Colin McHugh pitch. He reminds me of an old teammate of mine, Aaron Seeley. Came up with the Red Sox, had a long major league career. There are the numbers, 15 games before he got picked up on waivers. 0-8, the ERA over 8.
Well, when you wonder about how the Astros have gotten good, better than expected, it's pickups like McHugh. Guy who wasn't valued, they were able to snatch up. Reminds you of Seeley, though, huh?
Well, just that Aaron had that big 12-6 curveball through a cutter, kind of a dart thrower, wasn't overpowering with his fastball, but a very smart pitcher on pitch selection and same type of styles, but you just don't see the curveball much.
Yeah.
You know? And so when I caught Aaron for the first time, it really jumped out at me.
Altuve. 2 down. John, why don't you think you see the 12-6 curveball?
You know what? I think that pitchers have gotten away from it and pitching coaches because it's tough to throw for a strike. I mean, it's obviously a strikeout pitch, but if you have a slider that's a little bit shorter, you can control it a little bit more, throw it for strikes when you want to, and throw it off the plate when you want to. But I'm thinking about the Houston Astros front office and how they have to be patting themselves on the back. That guy had a pretty good hammer, too.
Yeah.
With a fastball. Nolan Ryan. But how they have to be almost congratulating themselves, saying, we picked this guy off of waivers. And he's been a very solid winner for them last couple of years.
Similar to what they did with Will Harris. Picked him up off waivers. He's been outstanding in the pen. Did serve up the go-ahead 3-run homer to Chris Young in the second game of this series, but his numbers were minuscule before that. 1-2 on Drew. Drew walked and scored in the 3rd. Had a good read on a McHugh wild pitch to advance to second, and then Gardner drove him in with a single up the middle. That's the Yankees' only hit. That's their only run. And that's another strikeout for McHugh. 6 of them, and he has been impressive. Good pitching going on at Minute Maid.
Coming off a rough outing his last time, but he has looked awfully good this afternoon in Houston. He has 4 strikeouts. We're going to look at all of them. A good slider. Fastball has a little bit of hop. Another good slider, middle and down. And Springer in the last of those 4 strikeouts. Michael Pineda on top of his game today.
Pineda has allowed just 3 hits in his 4 innings. McHugh just 1 in his 5. Each pitcher has looked locked in. And the only run Pineda allowed should have never happened. The miscommunication between Garrett Jones and Brett Gardner in center field on the Bigelow T scoreboard, that accounted for the 1 Astros run. Carlos Correa fly ball that should have been out number 2 last inning turned into a double E8 and a run. Now, for people who are wondering, well, what was the scoring on that? You know, the error was on Gardner's failure to pick up the ball.
To kick it?
Yeah, right. The kick to the wall is where the error came in. The ball dropping is just a double. Valbuena drives that deep to left. It's short out there. Jones against the wall makes the catch for the first down.
Thinking back on Michael Pineda's afternoon, he threw a bad slider in the first inning, but I think this is the only other real bad pitch that he has thrown. Elevated up out over the plate. Thought it had a chance to find the seats. Garrett Jones able to make the play. That's a changeup and not a very good one. Pineda gets away with it.
Here is Chris Carter, struck out in his first at bat. He has struck out over 100 times this season already. And the Astros as a team have struck out 33 times in 30 innings this series. So making good on leading Major League Baseball in that category.
This is where Chris Carter is so dangerous. Ahead in the count, 2-0.
Good
pitch. 2-1. You don't give in. You don't throw the fastball right down the middle, respecting the power. It's a swing and miss guy. You throw a slider on a 2-0 count for a strike. You get back in it.
But down 3-1. Each of these teams can change a game at any moment with their power. 1 and 2 in the majors in home runs. Carter flips it into right. 2 out. Michael Pineda's pitch count in excellent shape. And that is so important, John, because you talked about it before. No Wilson, no Shreve, no Betances today, no Brian Mitchell. The Yankees did call up Esmail Rogers, sent down Gregorio Petit just so they could have another arm up here. But you are without all of those trustworthy late-inning arms today.
You got to believe Joe Girardi sitting in that dugout is very pleased because of all the things you just mentioned, Ryan. I mean, the best case scenario today is Michael Pineda goes 7, maybe 8. Then you can be selective with where you want to go at the end of the game. Right now, the pitch count only at 60 with 2 outs in the 5th.
Big hack from Tucker. Gregorius right there. Pineda is rolling. Got a good contest in Houston. 1-1 on to the 6th. For a hot collectible giveaway. It's Dellin Betances figurine night. And the first 18,000 guests in attendance will receive a Dellin Betances figurine courtesy of PC Richard & Son. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees Clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. There's Dellin, not his figurine, but the real guy.
Now, if you would have asked Dellin Betances 2 years ago, spring training, that he'd have a figurine coming out.
Yeah.
He's come a long way.
And he is so entertaining to watch. I mean, when he is on the mound, he is must-see TV. A nice young kid, too.
You know, I was lucky enough to go to the Thurman Munson Award dinner this offseason, and I presented Dellin.
Gardner gets into that to right. Back on the track to make the catch is Santana as Gardner comes up just short.
And I presented Dellin with his Thurman Munson Award, and you know, you got to prepare a few words. And the one thing that sticks out to me about him is how he has not changed at all with all the success. He's kind of come from nowhere. Had the big year last year and doing the same thing this year, and personality has stayed the same.
He's a New York kid. Here's Headley. I was talking to Chase Headley about his home run today. And I said, is that the furthest one you've hit? He said, it's up there. I got that one pretty good, yeah. Over the Minute Maid sign in left field, 451 feet.
So when it goes over 450 feet, you have to give it the peace call.
That's right. You want to try it?
No, I think I'll pass.
Peace.
Gave the Yankees a little more separation.
You added up the total footage of the home runs yesterday. Pretty impressive. Young's was smashed. Cans was cranked. Now one from Headley. Chris Carter hit a bomb for Houston. One-two. McHugh's in good shape. He's retired 9 in a row. As Tony Pena, a little smirk, skipping rope.
Look at that pitch count at 81 with 1 out in the 6th inning. He's a guy who's thrown 112 pitches his last 2 outings.
Five balls, 24 strikes over the last 3 innings for McHugh. That is a solid ratio.
And we talked earlier, Ryan, about how the numbers are inflated first time through the lineup and they get better for McHugh. Yankees haven't been able to do much.
Headley looks at strike 3. Vicious over the outside corner. And strikeout number 7 for McHugh, who's retired 10 in a row.
I already talked about it. He does a lot of things that will disrupt a hitter's timing. Covers a lot of different speeds. A slow curveball, the cut fastball. He just backdoors a little cut fastball here. Starts off the plate and clips the corner.
Another strong reaction for Alex Rodriguez. 0 for 2. A ground out, a pop out. Does not look comfortable against McHugh. Look comfortable there. Base hit. So an opportunity here for Mark Teixeira. And in these tight games, late innings, the home run always can change the game. Yesterday it was a 2-run double for Mark Teixeira in the 8th that gave the Yankees the lead in a 6-6 game.
Chris Carter, the first baseman, going to play behind Alex Rodriguez.
Strike 1. In the dirt, and Rodriguez will stay at first.
Good play by Castro, and we think back to the curveball in the dirt that Stephen Drew was able to advance earlier, and it turned into a run for the Yankees there. That's perfect. Angle the baseball back towards home plate.
Outside. 2-1. Teixeira has struck out swinging. He has struck out looking against McHugh. And he is ahead 3-1 with Brian McCann waiting on deck.
McHugh has looked so good, it's unusual for him to be behind in the count 3-1. He missed badly with that fastball.
Hasn't been in the stretch in a while. Teixeira loops it right to Altuve. And McHugh is through 6. Tie game at 1.
Will be Ellsbury. He'll be in Tampa tomorrow, and the Yankees anticipate he'll be playing in some rehab games this week. So good news. You see Ellsbury out there on the field earlier today, was running the bases, looked good, but that's a guy that they definitely want back in this lineup. Joe Girardi had spoken about how they're missing that element of the offense, the speed on the base pass that they had with Ellsbury at top and Brett Gardner in that 2-hole that they used earlier in the year and had a lot of success with.
Thank you, Meredith. Well, John, you talked about that yesterday, how, I mean, there was a stretch where it seemed like you couldn't get either of those two out, and all of their offense was generated by what Ellsbury and Gardner were doing at the top of the order.
Yeah, and it seems like lately the home run has been the main source of offense for the Yankees.
Santana smokes that into center, and the leadoff runner on for the first time since the first inning for Houston.
You don't want to speculate how long it's going to be, but you would think the Yankees going to California for 3 days, then an off day, right?
Yep.
Then a home stand.
Joe Girardi said Friday was possible.
Yep.
Brian Cashman had talked about that a week or two ago, how the stints for rehab are so much shorter now than they used to be. Go down there, can get a couple games, pop you right back up.
As long as everything feels healthy and your timing isn't way off, you'd expect it to be a couple of games and get right back at it.
So the leadoff runner on, and strike one to Jason Castro. The catcher grounded out to Gregorius, his first at bat. Michael Pineda has yielded just 4 hits.
You know, and Ellsbury has been taking batting practice, and you just need to see a little bit more speed, game action, velocity.
The 0-1. Ellsbury looked great too.
Yeah, Ellsbury's swing looks fine. It's just like I said, seeing the game speed up a little bit, and when you're a veteran player like that, it's pretty much your call. So listen, I feel healthy. My bats are good. I'm ready to go. It shouldn't take long.
Check on first. Domingo Santana with 1 stolen base. With infrequent playing time this season. There is the lead. He got him looking. Nasty fastball up and over the outside corner.
Castro looks like he was sitting on some off speed. Brian McCann bringing that pitch back to the strike zone aggressively. It started off the plate. This looked like a pretty good pitch right on the corner.
Fifth strikeout for Pineda. Here's Springer, who singled to lead off the game. Struck out in the fourth. An aggressive check on first from Pineda. Strike one. John, it's got to be encouraging after seeing Michael Pineda have probably the worst outing of his career, the shortest, gave up the most hits, most runs, 11 hits, 8 runs last time out. For him to look as sharp as he has today.
And it all goes back to the slider. I mean, the slider's been nasty today. His fastball has gotten better as the game has progressed. You mentioned the short bullpen, Ryan, so all of those things important today. 68 pitches. Now you get to the point in the game where you start thinking about small ball and trying to win a close game. Is it going to be one swing of the bat? Is it going to be stealing a base at the right time? Just trying to get out of here, win 3 out of 4, and look forward to the Angels series.
2-1. Yankees have played some good baseball against good teams this year. They've obviously had a Jekyll and Hyde nature, which Joe Girardi's continually asked about. Has no answers for other than, hey, baseball's unpredictable. But they have had some really quality series against some good opponents. Think to that Royals sweep series against Detroit earlier in the year when the Tigers were humming.
And then you think back to some of the clunkers, right? The Philadelphia Phillies come in.
Yep.
Your home field and take 2 out of 3.
That was specifically what Joe was asked to explain today. How do you take 2 out of 3 against a first place team like the Astros after you drop 2 out of 3 at home to the worst team in baseball in the Phillies? He said, you can't explain it. It's unpredictable. It's baseball. I think one of our broadcast colleagues would say, that's baseball, Susan.
Ryan, you mentioned Santana only has 1 stolen base on the year. John Susan
might be saying that right now.
Let's see if Santana's on the move right here. Full count to Springer.
Santana is not. Swing and a miss. And Springer is down for the second straight at bat on strikes.
Pineda does not give in on a 3-2 count. He goes with the slider again, and it's a good one. Looks like a strike. Darts out of the strike zone late. Springer, who's a leadoff guy who does not get cheated, goes down again.
6 strikeouts for Pineda, whose only run allowed came on a Carlos Correa fly ball to center that should have been caught. Brett Gardner and Garrett Jones converged, miscommunicated, then Gardner kicked it, and Correa ended up scoring on the play in what was ruled a double and an E8. Runner goes, McCann's throw. He's throwing darts this afternoon. Inning over. Brian McCann has brought the cannon and eliminates another base runner. Show as the skipper recaps this matchup with the Astros and previews the Bombers' upcoming battle with Mike Trout and the Angels. It's all new today after the postgame only on Yes. Joe Girardi's team trying to make it 3 out of 4 here against first place Houston. As McCann looks at a hook outside. 1-1 game. Each pitcher has been terrific. Colin McHugh for the Astros, Michael Pineda for the Yankees.
Joe Girardi's got to be looking out at Brian McCann. Obviously hitting right now, but the display that he's put on behind the plate. When you throw out Altuve, one of the best base stealers in the game, and then a guy like Santana goes and he makes it look easy.
McCann flies it into center. Springer for the first down. As I watch McHugh and we see how well he's performing, John, a guy who was an afterthought after his first 2 years, 0-8, an ERA near 9. Also got to give some credit to Brent Strom, the pitching coach for the Astros, what he's been able to do with a lot of this staff, finding different assets and turning them into more consistent strengths for his pitchers. As McHugh retires Jones on one pitch. He was a guy who developed a lot of those Cardinals arms that we see having success in the majors when he was running their minor league pitching from 2008 to 2013. And Jeff Luhnow, the GM, knew what he was doing, bringing him over here for this Astros pitching staff.
Well, if there's an organization to model yourself after, it would be the St. Louis Cardinals and all their young talent that comes through the pipeline.
There's Jeff Luhnow taken in the game. He's got some company. Luhnow is the small one. Another first pitch swinging, another easy out. 5-pitch inning for Colin McHugh, who is making it look very easy. 1-1 as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. But we will hang right here. A Sunday in Houston means God bless America at Minute Maid Park. So we will give you a chance to sit and listen as they honor America at Minute Maid.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to join Miss Monica Pasley for the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Monica Pasley.
the post game. I'm sure David's going to love breaking down what's been a tremendous pitching matchup. Maybe he'll break down that guy's hat. Now that looks like Texas to me. That too, John. That is an ambitious mustache. They play heart of Texas in the 7th inning here every game, right after Take Me Out to the Ball game. People get into it too.
We're looking around, another nice crowd. First place team, and fans are coming out to support them.
31,961 here today. Yesterday, Astros had their first non-opening day sellout since 2012, 41,000.
Huge inning right here for Michael Pineda. Correa, Altuve, and Gaddis.
Heart of the order for Houston, 2-3-4. Correa was up when Brian McCann threw out Domingo Santana to end the 6th inning. And Correa has his second hit. That's a long run for Jones. Correa is going to go for second and make it easily.
Well, as good as Michael Pineda has been this afternoon, he's going to have to earn it here in the 7th inning. Correa out in front a little bit, but the ball jumps off of his bat. It's a slider, and it's middle. Hammers it into left field. Had so much on it, was able to get by Garrett Jones all the way to the wall. An easy double. The Houston Astros all set up here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
So here comes Jose Altuve. Has all kinds of speed. First at bat today with a runner in scoring position for the Astros. Their only run came on the botched fly ball off the bat of Correa, where he came all the way around to score. Now he's on second with nobody out, and Headley and Teixeira both in at the corners, preparing for a potential bunt. There's the bunt. Right to Headley. He'll make the play at first, and on to third goes Correa. With one out as we check in with Bob Lorenz back at our Yes Network studios. We look forward to that, Bob. A recap of this exciting 4-game series. Really 4 competitive, tight games with late inning drama. A shutout from Dallas Keuchel on Thursday. A Yankee win behind Nathan Eovaldi. And a big home run from Chris Young on Friday. Yesterday a slugfest, and today a 1-1 game in the 7th. Evan Gaddis up. The Yankees infield in. And Correa on third. Nubbed. Foul. That would have gotten the run home.
Correa going on contact. Again, we're starting to see some pitches up in the zone. Correa got a slider that wasn't great. Gaddis got a slider there that was up. Correa going right away on contact. Another look at the pitch. I mean, that is a hanger.
Pineda had 77 pitches. Pitch count in outstanding shape. The Yankees without their top 3 guns today in the bullpen, presumably. They each pitched each of the last 2 games. Here's the 0-1. Gaddis waved. And no check. So it's 1-1.
Well, when you look at this Houston Astro lineup, and we've seen it now for 4 games, Gaddis's at-bats are probably the most under control. He's got 46 RBIs. When he drives in runs, Astros are 18-7 in those games, so here a big spot for him.
He has 3 ribbies in the series. And now he has 4, maybe more. Gardner racing back, can't make the catch. It's off the wall. Gaddis is going all the way to third. He is there. An RBI triple, and the Astros take a 2-1 lead.
Well, we talked about all the power for the Houston Astros coming into this series. But here in the bottom of the 7th, they manufacture a run. A leadoff double, a sacrifice bunt, and then your best run producer in the middle of the lineup, Gaddis, gets a hanger, and he had one earlier that he missed. He didn't miss this one. He thought he had a home run. He's Cadillacing it. And then he realizes it's back in the field of play, and it's going to end up being a triple. And more importantly for the Houston Astros, an RBI. He gives them a lead. Thought it was a home run, but he'll take it. Gardner, a good bid, just up against the wall. So we've seen the long ball from the Houston Astros, and now we see them manufacture a run, and Gaddis will be pinch run for and gets a lot of congratulations in his dugout.
So the Yankees pitch around Gaddis yesterday in a tight situation late. Today he gets a pitch to hit, drives in the go-ahead run. Valbuena, swing and a miss. Valbuena 1 for 12 in this series against the Yankees. And important to keep it right here, John.
This is a huge at-bat. See Gonzalez pinch running. I mean, you got Valbuena up there and you have Carter after. Two guys who will swing and miss. And if you're Michael Pineda and Brian McCann, you have to be thinking strikeout here. Can't afford to give up that other run.
One and one. No action in the Yankee bullpen. Chase and Shreve, Justin Wilson, Dellin Betances, all not expected to be available. So Michael Pineda, the most trustworthy arm, who is. And this is his inning. Good slider, a little bit down.
If you're thinking about the strikeout in this situation, now a 2-1 count, you got to pitch backwards a little bit. Go with your slider and a fastball count. There it is. Change up, fastball in, fastball away. Nope, I want the slider.
And he gets strike two.
Now you can start thinking differently. Valbuena just sees a slider on a 2-1 count. If you're Pineda and Brian McCann, you could go fastball, try to sneak one by him. Whatever the pitch selection is, got to be thinking about the strikeout here. Strand that runner at third.
Changeup.
Could be the changeup. Make sure it's down.
The 2-2. He got him. Good changeup from Michael Pineda. And Valbuena fails in driving in Gonzalez.
Yeah, and good sequence. You get back in the count with the 2-1 slider. You go with the changeup and you bury it down. You trust Brian McCann is going to be able to make the play, and you get a huge swing and a miss. Changeup hasn't been a great pitch for him today. Another look on Yesmo. Slider's been there. The changeup just showed up.
Now McCann will trot out and talk with Pineda. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Chris Carter, a strikeout, a flyout. Pineda trying to hold it right here and keep the Yankees within one run. Strike one. John, do you think there will be any regrets from Pineda and the pitching staff on pitching to Gaddis with first base open and a couple of strikeout candidates up after him.
I think the regret is that you made a bad pitch. You know, you had a slider, you hung it. He actually threw a couple of bad pitches to him. But in this type of a game, you're trying to stay away from that big inning. You know, it's a situation where you made a bad pitch and he got you.
Pineda is one strike away from staying away from that big inning and keeping it a 2-1 deficit. Seven strikeouts already this afternoon for Pineda, who has not walked a batter. Has really been sharp. Two and two.
Plenty on the fastball there at 94.
It's had that good popping sound all afternoon.
Michael Pineda, we saw early on during the year, not walking anybody, pounding the strike zone.
Big 2-2 pitch. Popped up. That should end the inning. Teixeira and McCann. It'll be Tex with the catch. And the damage limited by Michael Pineda, who strands a runner on third with less than 2 outs. The Astros do take the lead. Dealer. Not a lot of offense today. Brett Gardner, an RBI single in the third. Evan Gaddis, an RBI triple in the seventh. And Colin McHugh has been tremendous, as has Michael Pineda. McHugh allowing just 2 hits in his 7 innings of work. And he is certainly still out there for the Astros here in the top of the 8th inning. Didi Gregorius will lead off on the Hyundai scoreboard. The Astros with a 2-1 lead. Ball 1 to Gregorius. Carlos Beltran on deck for the Yankees, ready to hit for Stephen Drew. One and one.
We talked earlier that the Astros usually give McHugh plenty of run support. Not this afternoon. A 1-run ball game here in the 8th. He threw 8 strong innings his last time out against the Angels and won that game final 13-3. He has to work today.
Curveball grounded hard but foul. McHugh needed just 5 pitches to retire the Yankees in order in the 7th, and that kept the pitch count very manageable for this eighth.
Yeah, he threw 112 his last time out, so he has some room before he gets that number. Thatcher and Gregerson.
Gregerson, the closer, throwing. Grounded weakly. Valbuena will have to hurry. He does. 1 out.
You know, Ryan, we saw Keuchel do this on the opening game of the series. Just a lot of soft hit ground balls, nothing really behind it. And you're kind of seeing the same thing from McHugh this afternoon. Easy plays for the infielders. Talk about the 2 hits that he's given up, but really have not been that many hard hit balls.
Single by Gardner, a single by A-Rod. Those are the 2 hits. Dallas Keuchel shut the Yankees down Thursday night. Here is Carlos Beltran. He was 0 for 2 yesterday with a couple of walks and a hit by pitch. But has been swinging it well for a while. Plus 300 hitter since the beginning of May. And looks at strike 1. Career pinch hitting, Beltran 11 for 50. That's a .220 average. He does have 1 home run. Good take there by Carlos to not chase. What a hook from McHugh, who's had a good one from jump.
Carlos Beltran has been watching the whole game from the dugout. I'm sure he's paid attention to the curveball. Just never gets there, way out in front.
A 1-2. Fastball grounded right into the shift. That's the shortstop Correa. 2 down. And now Brett Gardner, who's had probably the best at bats today. No surprise with how scorching hot he's been. Walked, singled in a run, and flew out deep to right field his last time up. And if the Yankees had hoped to get Colin McHugh out and into the bullpen, the 7th and 8th innings have not helped. Inside. Gardner at 301 now. One and 1.
Just thinking, Ryan, Ben May, the home plate umpire, is having himself a great game. We have not mentioned his name once. Have not talked about a questionable pitch maybe that didn't go somebody's way. If you're a home plate umpire, that's the type of day you want to have. He has 2 pitchers throwing strikes. He's been very consistent with the zone.
And McHugh ahead 1 and 2 here.
Looking to finish off 8 strong innings.
He has been in total control. Good night. McHugh fired up. 8 brilliant innings. And the Astros take a 2-1 lead to the bottom half of inning number 8. T-Mobile with the Yankees leading 1-0. Had some problems in the outfield, John.
Well, you can definitely say this was a game changer, and when this play happened, you were hoping that it wouldn't be the difference in the ball game. Correa scores. Now in the 8th inning, we find ourselves a 2-1 game. I'm sure those two gentlemen thinking back to that play and the lack of communication.
At that point, Pineda had retired 9 in a row. It was the 4th inning, leading 1-0, and instead tied the game at 1. Now a 2-1 game after the RBI triple from Evan Gattis in the 7th. Scored Carlos Correa, and Colin McHugh still out there on the bench. Now, he was given high fives at the end of the 8th like his day was done. We shall see.
Let's put it this way. If I'm a manager or I'm a catcher and I see my starting pitcher come off the mound showing that much emotion after 8 innings, got to say, you know what, his day is done. He just kind of emptied the tank right there, but we'll see. There's action in the Astro bullpen.
Closer Luke Gregerson getting ready on the Hyundai scoreboard. The Astros the 1-run lead. That pitch just missed. New second baseman for the Yankees, Jose Pirela. After Beltran pinch hit for Stephen Drew. Hard and fair. Grabbed by a fan, it's a double. Hey, Tuesday, the 2015 FIFA Women's World Cup semifinals begin as Alex Morgan and Team USA take on Germany with a trip to the final on the line. Coverage begins Tuesday at 6 p.m. only on your local Fox station and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. So the leadoff man on second for the second straight inning against Michael Pineda. Hasn't given up many hits, but has given up a few of the extra base variety. Now 3 doubles and a triple surrendered.
See how manager A.J. Hinch plays this one in the bottom of the 7th inning. As you say, Rumbelow getting ready. Bottom of the 7th, they played small ball. Altuve sacrificed bunt. Gattis got the job done behind him. I expect Santana to be swinging the bat right here, trying to hit one to the right side. We'll see.
He's swinging. He's trying to shoot it to that right side and fouls it back.
Yeah, when you have a guy like Castro hitting behind you, not having the best offensive year, Santana trying to take a shot right field.
So important to keep this a 1-run game. Luke Gregerson, the Astros closer, has yielded some home runs. As you see, the Yankees back up a little bit defensively, not expecting the bunt. And they don't get one. Gregorius, will he go to third? No. Takes the out at first. And I wonder if it was worth the risk, John.
You know what, as a base runner, you are taught that if the ground ball is behind you or to your left, you go. If it's to your right, you don't. And this one is going to be in front of the runner. And Gregorius had a shot if he wanted to take it at third. He takes the easy out. I think you got to be aggressive right there, Ryan. Try to take that out at third. We'll see. Great look from up top. When he catches the ball, he's got plenty of time. Aggressive base running by Tucker pays off.
Well, and it's one thing when you're trying to avoid the big inning, John, but right now, 1 run might as well be huge, 5 runs.
Huge run.
Right. So now Castro with a runner on third and 1 out. And Michael Pineda will need to do what he did last inning. Stranded a runner on third with less than 2. Took a strikeout of Valbuena and a pop out of Carter to do it. This time it'll be Castro and Springer. Big swing, strike 1.
We saw Correa at third base going on contact and had a good aggressive secondary lead. And I was just watching Tucker. Real aggressive secondary lead, had all his momentum leaning towards home plate. Looks like the Astros, for a young club, pay attention to little details with base running.
The 0-1. 1-1. If you're wondering about Tucker's speed at third base, he does not have a stolen base this season.
You know, you don't have to be fast to be a good base runner. You know, little things like secondary leads, getting a good jump if you're going on contact.
Just off the outside corner, 2-1.
Fastball has some movement away. McCann tries to bring it back, doesn't get the call. And again, just like last inning, you're thinking about pitching backwards here. Fastball count 2-1. Guy like Castro who likes the fastball and has a little bit of pop. Go off speed right here.
Tucker leads off third. The 2-1 was off speed and is fouled away. Now where do you go on 2-2, John?
Well, now you have a lot of options. You've just thrown a changeup. Wasn't a great pitch. But again, if you want to try to sneak a fastball by, you can. Go with your slider. Has been your best swing and miss pitch the entire game.
Pineda trying to get a huge strikeout.
Go to the slider.
The 2-2. That'll get the run in. Jones catches, heaves, Tucker scores. It's 3-1. And a very important insurance run for the Astros.
And the Astros manufacturing a run. Knew when it went to left field, Garrett Jones not a strong throwing arm, and Pineda not happy with the result. He threw a slider, the right pitch, not the right location, pretty much down the middle of the plate, and Castro took advantage.
Pineda on the hard luck end of a 3-1 score right now. Has given the Yankees the length they desired with a short bullpen. Has held a powerful offense for the most part in check. Gotten to him a bit in the 7th and 8th, but the Yankee backs totally tamed by Colin McHugh. One and two. Here is pitch number 104 for Michael Pineda. Rumbelow has been warming out the Yankee bullpen. The 2-2. Good hack. 95 on his 105th pitch, John.
Plenty left in the tank. Season high is 111. You're right, Ryan. He's done everything the Yankees could have wanted him to do today. Just being outpitched by Colin McHugh.
Now full on Springer. who singled his first at bat, struck out in the 4th and the 6th. And the dangerous Carlos Correa, who has come alive at the plate these last 2 games of this series, is on deck. It was Correa who doubled leading off the 7th and came around to score the go-ahead run. The 3-2. Strike 3. An impressive performance for Michael Pineda. 8 solid innings, but the Astros lead by 2. Brought to you in part by Jeep. Come discover great deals during the Jeep Drive and Discover event. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by your Tri-Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2015 models. Well, after 8 sparkling innings from Colin McHugh, A.J. Hinch will make the Verizon call to the bullpen and call on his closer, Luke Gregerson, who we see for the first time in this series, John.
Well, he's converted 17 of the 19 save opportunities that he has had. 3.68 ERA, does not walk many, only 6.
And the Yankees need a base runner and a long ball, or some other form. Now down 2 after the insurance run in the bottom of the 8th from Houston.
Chase Headley just got a good look at that sinking fastball. That's what Gregerson does. Sinker, slider.
Headley has never faced Gregerson. It'll be Headley, A-Rod, and Teixeira. And if somebody should get on, Brian McCann. 2-1. Gregerson has given up a few long balls this year, 4 of them. Two-one. Bottom dropped out for him.
Yeah, you can see all the movement. Scouting report, get that sinker up and take a good pass. When it's down, it has outstanding action.
The 2-2 from Gregerson. Weekly grounded to Altuve. The 4-1 put out. And 1 down. Take a look at tomorrow's starting pitchers, brought to you by Verizon Fios, the fastest, most reliable internet. CC Sabathia will look to bounce back from a shaky outing going up against C.J. Wilson. Coverage begins at 9:30 with the pregame show here on Yes. CeCe got some tutelage from Andy Pettit here in Houston, hoping that helps him in his start in Anaheim. Alex Rodriguez has one of 2 Yankee hits. A single to center in the 6th. The other hit, a Brett Gardner RBI single in the 3rd. But that's how good Colin McHugh was.
The Yankees just trying to look for a base runner here in this bandbox, so you have a possibility of a 2-run home run to tie it up.
Right into the shift. The second baseman Altuve. 1 out away. They get complete analysis of today's series finale on the WB Mason postgame. After the final out, stay right here on Yes for all the reaction from the players in the clubhouse, and hear Joe Girardi's manager's report. It's all coming up on the WB Mason Yankees postgame only on Yes.
You know, Ryan, I was looking forward to this series to figure out what the Houston Astros were all about, and after 4 games, this team's legit. Some good starting pitching, solid bullpen, plenty of power. They did a nice job situational hitting today.
And the crowd on its feet looking for the win. They get strike 1.
And they have a fan base that seems to be fired up about their first place club.
Oh, 0-2. Well, the Yankee bats tamed by Gallus Keuchel. Boisterous Friday night and Saturday, and once again muted here Sunday. Teixeira trying to keep the Yankees alive and get the tying run to the plate. Three infielders on the right side for Teixeira, as the Astros shift nearly every batter. The 1-2. Teixeira spoils it. The 1-2 from Gregerson in the dirt. And it's 2-2.
Good at bat for Mark Teixeira, just trying to get on base any way he can. And McCann on deck.
McCann with plenty of power, a lot of it lately. Grand slam yesterday. Teixeira 0 for 1 lifetime against Gregerson. The 2-2. That should do it. Carter will take it himself. Ball game. Astros win it 3-1. And Houston salvages a split of this 4-game series with the Yankees. A well-played, competitive 4-game series, and Brett Gardner giving some love to his starter Michael Pineda, who threw a complete game, just ended up on the hard luck side of this 3-1 final and wasn't helped out by his defense this afternoon.
Yeah, the play with Brett Gardner and Jones, obviously a big one, and then a couple of add-on runs for the Houston Astros. The difference, Pineda threw the ball great. Nothing to show for it.
Take a look at the reaction from A.J. Hinch on that final out. His team certainly made an impression in this series as they manage a split, and the Yankees make their way to Anaheim. We'll make our way to the studios. Check in with Bob and David.